Hello, all you beautiful people. Okay, today we're going to talk a lot about word choice and how to really utilize this in your business and switch from um, kind of a negative or even passive mindset that you might be having around your business in general, recruiting, growing your team, getting to the next level of whatever it is, or even maybe you want to be doing a higher volume in sales than you have been, or you want to book more parties. Maybe you want to get more people on your pre-order list. Like all of these things make our business successful, right? So they all work together. It's not all about sales. It's not all about pre-orders. It's not all about parties, and it's not all about recruiting. You really have to work on all those things in order to have a bulletproof, fully successful business. And you guys, this is my office, but right now it's also my kid's nursery because we have guests. So we have to move her out and into my office. Super fun. So ignore that. Anyways, but I am really excited to talk about this because it's one thing that I work really hard on, and it's A, mindset, and then B, personal development. So we're gonna really be talking a lot about those things. I wanna make this video short and sweet for y'all, but I wanna ask you, I want you guys to really sit with this question. Are you doing personal development? So some of you guys are like, it could be better. No. And then some of you guys are like, yes, right? Probably have all three. And here's what I'm going to tell you about personal development is it is absolutely critical to your business. And anytime somebody is feeling stumped, they're feeling like they are just coasting in their business, maybe they feel like they're in a rut, my first question is, what are you doing for personal development? Because you guys, the better mindset you have, the most positive mindsets that I know of, the people who are the most successful in this business do the most personal development, and they lean into it, and they don't, I'm going to say buck at it, which in my world and in my house, that means they don't go, right? They go, I need this. Like, I need this for me, and I want to make sure that I'm still growing. As a coach, I want to make sure that I'm always bringing new information to people, right? Things that they haven't heard, different perspectives. And so I do personal development to not only better myself, but to help better others. And so I hope that you guys can kind of lean into that personal development piece. And this goes a lot to our word choice, the stories that we're telling each other. And in the guides, you'll see there's a ton of different examples. But there's stories that we tell ourselves on a daily basis, and they're very powerful, and they can really dictate how you are coming across in a conversation, how your voice sounds. It can dictate a lot of things. So even if that person doesn't know you or know that that's a story you're saying in your head and how you're feeling, they still feel it. If you're having very positive stories that you're telling yourself, if you're saying, I know people want to join my team, I'm a powerhouse, and I'm going to crush this. When you voice message people and when you're sending messages, they feel that energy. If you are saying things like, nobody wants to join my team, I don't really know what I'm doing, I just started this, gosh, I don't know, I've never had success in a direct sales business, why would anybody want to join my team? When you are voice messaging and messaging people, they feel exactly that. So I want you to really focus on that. What stories are you telling yourself? And I always say, if you need to have a pump me up session before you start messaging, do that. Tell yourself, connect with somebody who loves the crap out of you. And maybe it's your best friend, your husband, and say, hey, tell me how awesome I am. And I know that that seems so vain. And for some of you guys, it's going to be super uncomfortable. But when you do that, and you get people to tell you that, when you go into those messages, you're going to be like, hey, my best friend, Annalise, loves me, and I'm going to pretend I'm talking to her right now. And that's how you're going to come across the most confident. And you guys, I know you're looking at me going, Erica, I'm not going to do that, and I'm never going to do that. And that's your own decision. But what I'll tell you is if you want to be successful, get your pump me up going on, okay? Pump yourself up and say really positive things out loud. Even if you don't believe them, you will start to believe them over time. The first time I ever told myself that I would win a bodybuilding competition, take home a trophy, I was like, there's no way. You guys, first competition, 4th place. All right, there it is, right? Like, I said it out loud and it became my reality. That's what you have to do in order to make these things happen in your life. So start telling yourself more positive stories, especially before your pump me up session, right? Changing that mindset, right? So if you're thinking, because you've been struggling, I can't get anybody to join my team, I want you to say this: I'm finding the right people to join my team. you see the difference in that? Both of them were still struggling to get somebody to actually join, right? Like somebody hasn't committed, but that is a very different positive. I haven't recruited in a couple months. I am finding the right person to join my team. That is what I'm doing, okay? I'm not looking at it going, nobody's joining my team. And that is reality, right? Nobody is. However, I am finding the right people to join my team. So hopefully that helps. So shifting that negative thought into more of a positive thought. And you guys feel free to drop, if you have a negative thought that you're like, how do I turn this around, Erica? I can't think. Drop it here. I'd love to help you figure out how to turn it around. And I'll tell you what, most of it seems pretty corny, but it works. You guys, psychology says that this works. It does. I know it does because I practice it in my own life. So as far as language around recruiting and around this, this philosophy of getting people to join my team, right? So I want to talk to you guys a little bit about not assuming and just sharing the opportunity, because when you're assuming, the words that you're using and the energy that you're putting out there, honestly, is A, holding you back, B, probably coming across kind of negative and like, I don't really know. So I want you to just share the opportunity. I recently had a gal who was pretty high up in an oils company, and she was a direct sales sister. We supported each other in this business, and I thought she was super happy with what she was doing. I thought it was her passion. It fit her lifestyle. She was really good at it. She was sharing consistently on social media. I never talked to her about the opportunity. She hosted a couple parties for me. They went well. I never talked to her about the opportunity because I thought she was 100% happy with where she was at and that fit her passion. And I never want to take anybody away from their passion. But that story that I told myself about her, I did not know if she was happy. I never asked. I did not know if she was financially happy. And I did not know if that was her passion. I assumed all of those things based off of what I saw. Well, you guys, she recently left and went to another company. And when I saw it, I literally wanted to throw up. I messaged her and she said, yeah, I had thought about Zaya a couple times. You guys, do you know how painful that is? So I want that story to help you, because you never assume that somebody's happy, never assume somebody's financially in the place that they want to be, never assume that they're chasing their passion, because you just don't know. So when you are identifying somebody who you'd love to have on your team, and we all probably have a laundry list of those, right? And you're like, Erica, how do I go and how do I start that conversation? Well, that's like a whole nother training, right? But the best advice I can give you guys is when you are in a conversation and you want to shift it, you want to start talking about Zaya, you want to really get them interested in becoming a rep. Here's the thing. You got to dig in. You got to ask questions. You got to find pain points. And a lot of this happens through building a relationship, right? So I might be talking to my friend Jackie and I might just be like, hey girl, what are your plans this summer? I saw you guys, looks like you're packing for a trip to Disney. So glad that you finally got in. I know that they've had a wait list. When are you going? She tells me. I'm like, oh, awesome. Did you guys find a sweet hotel? Like, are you getting a condo on the, beach? Like, what are you guys doing? Is it going to be fun? How long are you going? She's probably going to open up and say, gosh, it's kind of expensive. So we had to get a little bit lower price hotel. I really wish that we could have afforded X, Y, or Z. What other vacations are you taking? If she didn't say that, right? That's probably it that our budget calls for. She's telling me her pain point. She's telling me that one trip is all the money that she could possibly have to take her family on a trip, right? So there might be some financial pain points there. So I can keep kind of digging into that. And you don't go, are you financially in pain? Like, God, don't say that. But say, oh my gosh, like, yeah, I've been there. I understand. Or maybe you are there right now. I understand that. I'm just glad that you guys are getting out. I know me and my family would love to take that trip for Disney. And that's actually why I'm really working hard in my Zaya business. And I want to make this a lucrative business so that I can make sure that I can take my family on trips wherever we want to go and stay wherever we want to stay. Do you see how I transition that? That's super easy. And as long as that feels genuine and authentic to you, then it makes sense. But maybe that exact story doesn't. So let me use a different one. Maybe your friend, I need a new name. Sarah, has been working a ton of hours. She's posting in her stories like that she's exhausted, or maybe you're just talking to her, catching up with her, and she's like, I can't even think straight. I am so exhausted. I've been working 14-hour days, fighting fires in California. And I'm telling you this story because I just had this conversation with a gal today. So she's exhausted, working 14 hours, doing all of these different things. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that seems like a lot. Is this your busy season? Yes, it is. And I can't wait for it to be over. When is it over, right? 'Cause she fights fire. So there's a time bound, right? I know her pain point is not having enough time. And she's overworked and, quite frankly, probably underpaid for how hard they work. So I start digging into that and I'm like, Sarah, like, what are you going to do? Like, what could get you out of this trap, right? This trap of feeling so overworked. Like, is that what you want, right? And you start asking these questions. And again, you guys, voice memo. Do not be texting these. Once you figure out somebody's pain point, you need to voice memo because they're going to hear your heart and they're going to hear your concern and your love for them. And make sure you have a little bit of a relationship before too. Like, what can I do? How can I help you, right? And so she's like, gosh, I just don't know. I just got to get through it. Like, I need this income, blah, blah, blah. Well, what if, Sarah, I know right now you're in the midst of this, right? But what if we could just hop on the phone and I could tell you about something that has really changed my life and my financial future, and a lot of women around me financial future, if I'm being quite frank. What if I could just hop on the phone and tell you a little bit about it and how it might be another opportunity for you to not have to work these long hours and have more time with your kids and your husband and to travel and do all these things that I know that you'd love to do, right? There you guys go. Getting on the phone with somebody, that's super important too. We can't lose that connection of getting face to face with people and getting on the phone, whether it be a Zoom call, a FaceTime, or just a regular call. Utilize that, you guys. This business, when you are actually recruiting business builders, they're going to be getting on the phone with you, okay? They'll be okay with that. So third pain point that I see. So we went over time, money. Third pain point is community, feeling alone. And you're going to find this a lot in like the stay-at-home moms, people who work from home, maybe in a job, people who maybe are transitioning, their kids are going off to college or whatever. You're going to find that a lot. They don't have the community. They might have a handful of friends, but they've kind of just been their friends because their kids were the same age or whatever, but they don't have a community. And that is different. I have a lot of friends, but Zaya is my community, right? It's different. I have a lot of friends. So figuring out, is that a pain point for them, right? Okay, if they don't ever have plans, they probably don't have a community of people that they are surrounding themselves with. If their idea of hobbies is like watching TV and, hanging out in their pool in their backyard by themselves, like they probably need a community and they need that. So start really kind of digging into that and thinking about that. So as I'm listening to people, watching their stories, as I am doing all of those things, I'm really trying to find those 3 pain points for people. And they are telling you, you just might not be receiving it. You might not be looking at it. You might not be digging in enough, right? But people are posting about their pain points without even you realizing it. But now that I said that, now you're gonna look at it and somebody's gonna post their long day at work and how exhausted they are, and you're gonna immediately think that a pain point for them might be time, right? You're gonna see somebody who, oh gosh, some people tell you way too much about their money situation, and y'all, that should be a little bit not hung out on the line to dry. But you're gonna be looking at these things. You're gonna be looking at the community piece of it. So I challenge you to go and do that. I challenge you to tell yourself positive thoughts. I really challenge you to make sure you're doing personal development and telling yourself good stories, really making sure that you are in a power stance every morning. Make sure that you are doing this business and sharing with others unfiltered, right? And not having preconceived notions on if they would or wouldn't join, or if they are successful already, because we just never know. So I hope that this helps. Definitely go to the guides though first and check out all the great examples too, because there is even more around selling and customers and stuff like that. So I hope you all have an amazing day, and we'll see you soon.